What's up, guys? I'm Joachim. This is On the Horn from the Siegel Center. After VCU beat LaSalle 96-66 tonight, Rams' second consecutive lopsided win. Two teams, Richmond and LaSalle, that going into it, you knew that they needed to take care of business. You couldn't afford a loss to either of those teams. If VCU wanted to keep its at-large NCAA tournament hopes alive, and really you needed big margins of victory in those games to continue positive net movement and give the Rams some momentum heading into a tough one at Dayton on Friday. So VCU absolutely took care of business. There was a sloppy start to this game. I want to say it was, 16-16, I think, and VCU had 5 turnovers early in this game and ended up with only 10 on the night, which is really impressive. Their ball security was great the rest of the way after that sloppy start, and then 13-0 run right early on in that first half to make it 29-16, and the lights were out, and that was it. Standout stats, looking at the stat sheet right now, 45-24 edge on the glass for VCU. Ryan Odom talked about that in the post-game press conference. Jack Clark, who's been a phenomenal rebounder throughout the season, Odom praised his rebounding acumen. I love boxing out, not exactly the most sexy basketball attribute, right? But man, it helps win ball games. And I love just watching Jack Clark box out. He's so wonderful at body positioning, and this team emphasized that going into this game because LaSalle, usually a pretty good rebounding team, specifically Etienne, their center, who ended up with 7, but VCU 45-24 edge on the glass, 19 offensive rebounds, 17 second chance points. That's been a huge part of some of the best basketball that VCU has played this year, is getting those second chance opportunities and really quality looks off of that. Ryan Odom said they call it a dagger shot when you can step into a 3 on a kick out on those second chance opportunities, and VCU has used that to great effect when they've had these really great games on the offensive glass this season, and they did that again tonight. VCU also 15 of 34 from 3, continuing to take a lot of threes. That's been a huge part of the narrative surrounding this team all year, is how many threes they take and that they haven't quite shot it to the ceiling that they're capable of, right? Ryan Odom has said that. He said collectively throughout the course of the season, we really haven't shot it from outside as well as we think we can and that they're capable of. In these last 2 games, and look, part of that, Richmond and LaSalle's closeouts were not great. That was my big observation with LaSalle tonight. It's just the closeouts to the perimeter were not good enough, especially I think in that first half when VCU was lighting it up from 3. I think they made 9 in the first half and then 6 in the second half. And who led that effort? Philip Russell made 3 of them. Jack Clark 2 of 2 from outside. And I know people will love to see him cutting down on the volume, because every time that he's cut down on the shooting volume from outside this year and put the ball on the deck a little bit more, he's been more efficient with the outside shots, right? So he took the right ones. And I asked Odom, what's been the difference in these last couple of games? And that's kind of what he said, is it's just about taking the right threes, understanding what looks from outside different guys excel in, right? Philip Russell loves the pull-up transition threes off the dribble. Jack Clark loves the catch and shoot. Joe Bamisile and Max Scholga also love the catch and shoot. I think they both love the wings too. Scholga can shoot it from all over the court. He loves the top of the key and the corner pocket too. But it's about knowing your personnel, how your teammates want to receive the ball, where they want to receive the ball, what kind of three-point shots they excel in the most. And it seems like in these last couple of games, VCU has really locked in with getting the right guys, the right looks from outside in the right situations. And that's why they made 15 more threes tonight. What's the percentage on that? 44.1. Like Chris Mooney said after that Richmond game, when they're shooting it like that, I think he said nobody can beat them. I don't know if that's true, but they're going to be really tough to beat when they're shooting at their ceiling from outside. VCU 44-28 edge in the paint too, so they didn't just rely on the three-point shot tonight, right? They drove the ball and attacked as well. 25-9 edge and fast break points. They got going in transition. LaSalle only turned the ball over 6 times. And so I think those fast break opportunities a lot of the time were just off of more pure runouts with VCU pushing the pace. It wasn't exactly live ball turnovers. VCU got a few, I think, that fueled that 13-0 run to go up 29-16 in that first half. But that wasn't what fueled them winning by 30 tonight. It wasn't the live ball turnovers. It was really the ball movement offensively. You ended up with 16 assists on 37 made baskets. They've had more in some games than that this year. But 46-35 bench edge. VCU's depth continues to be a big boon for it, and especially in a game with this sort of margin, you can kind of extend that bench and get Terrence Hill and Fats Billups some run. We had Fats Billups in the postgame press conference, which was very cool. Obviously, a lot of cries throughout the season from the fans that love the Varina products and love supporting the hometown kid for him to play more this season. So I think the loudest roars tonight in this place were when Fats had a couple of buckets and got some good run there toward the end. And Terrence Hill, man, 13 points, 3 of 5 from 3, 5 of 7 from the floor in 9 minutes and 30 seconds. He was outstanding. I think we've all seen that the offensive skill set is there for him. Great ball handler, great shooter. Brandon Jennings has obviously got a lot more minutes this year because Brandon does all the little things, defensively, rebounding, right? He's just been such a complete freshman that he's the one of that pair that has garnered the headlines this year, but we've all seen the potential in Terrence Hill, right? So very cool in a game with kind of a lopsided scoreline for him to get a chance to light it up, and he made 3 threes in that second half and drew some pretty big roars from this place. Joe Bamasiel, ho-hum, 17 points, 7 of 14 from the field, 2 of 8 from 3. He led the Rams in scoring, and I would say this was far from Joe's best offensive performance, of the season. That just shows the kind of ceiling he has on that end of the floor. Shogel, 14 points, Hill, 13, Philip Russell, 11. And yeah, we got to talk about Philip Russell's mastery of the dark arts, man, because we asked Christian Furman and Jack Clark about it in the post-game press conference. Have you ever played with somebody who can get under the opponent's skin like Phil can? And they said absolutely not. That's how he is every day in practice. His competitiveness galvanizes this team in so many situations, and he drew a flagrant 2. I've seen the replay, so it happened on this baseline down here. And the LaSalle player, Deuce Jones, who's been a really good freshman for them this year and ended up with just 6 points. I don't think he scored in the first half. VCU limited him really well. But Phil just gets under your skin, man. He's guarding you up close. He's probably whispering some stuff in your ears. We all know Phil likes to talk his trash. That was one of my favorite things about that Fordham game where there were no fans here, is you could hear Phil the whole time. And so that was fun. But Jones kind of just flails out an elbow, and he makes contact with Russell's head. I don't think it's very hard contact because it was a great acting job from Phil. He started rubbing the back of his head and then just kind of went down. I don't know if he's been watching some Premier League as I have or some soccer or something like that, but that's what it looked like to me. It was kind of going down to let the refs know, hey, that's illegal contact. It was an elbow to the head. I don't think it was very hard, but Jones did really flail that arm out on replay, and Phil was giving him the universal, can we look at that sign? When he went down, the refs went over and looked at it. They assessed Jones a flagrant 2 and ejected him from the game. And I think that was part of a 19-0 run for VCU. That it's not like they needed a knockout blow at that stage of the game, but that's when the lead really ballooned. And even the 30-point margin, I'm not sure is indicative of how lopsided this game was, because LaSalle had a run there toward the end. VCU got a little lackadaisical, had some subs in toward the end there, and LaSalle cut the margin down. But 30 points will still help VCU in the net. Anything else stand out on the stat sheet here? No, VCU, it's a game they had to win. Took care of business in these last 2. I don't know if I asked on Twitter, are they playing their best basketball of the season, or are Richmond and LaSalle just really bad? Those 2 things also aren't mutually exclusive. I think both of them might be true. They've played 2 teams at the bottom of the A10 that they needed to blow out at home in these last 2 games. They took care of business. It seems like they're playing some of their best basketball of the season. If they can carry that over into what will be an electric atmosphere at UD Arena on Friday. It always is for VCU Dayton. And I've never been there before. I'm incredibly excited. I'm flying with the team tomorrow. Thank you to VCU for giving me that opportunity and that access. I'm going to do kind of a behind-the-scenes story on the road trip for them. And I'm thrilled to see that atmosphere with 13,000 people screaming in one of the best basketball cities and towns in the country. So VCU 96, LaSalle 66, Rams to, 18-5, 8-2 in A10 play. George Mason's still holding that top spot. I don't know if they played tonight or if they play tomorrow. I haven't seen a result there yet. But if Mason was 8-1 going into today, so VCU would be a half game back. And Mason comes here on the 22nd. That game's going to be electric if VCU can maintain this momentum, and that's straight up for first place in the A10. You go to UD Arena, and then you go to G-Dub next Wednesday, which is going to be a tough one coming off the Dayton trip. It's a pretty good George Washington team. And then after that, you've got UMass here in the following week. After a week off, they play on the 12th at George Washington and then not again until the 19th. So a couple tough road tests here. If they can take care of business in both of those, then you get a very winnable game against UMass here. Then the environment against Mason is going to be electric here on the 22nd. So VCU continues to play some of its best basketball of the season, 96-66 winners over LaSalle tonight. I'm Zach Joachim. This is On the Horn. thank you guys so much for following along, and I'll see you Friday at UD Arena.